What's up, you guys? So in this video, I'll be doing some well-needed maintenance on the car. Pretty much just gonna be changing some fluids and checking over everything before the spring starts getting warmer. I start taking the car to more events and going to track days and everything. I just want to make sure everything's good with the car before I start driving it hard again. So here's my little to-do list. I'm gonna change the oil cooler, flush the coolant, find a leak I have somewhere here. I don't know if it's coolant or if it was windshield wiper fluid or water that I put in the windshield wiper fluid reservoir. Not sure. It doesn't really feel like coolant, or it doesn't have the consistency of coolant, but I don't know. It could be either one, but I gotta check it out. So I'm gonna change my brake pads and rotors, change my clutch fluid, change my brake fluid, clean the car, change my trans fluid, change my diff fluid, and power steering fluid. I'm gonna try to program the TPMS because those have been giving me some issues, and gonna program the key. So here's everything I'll be using. I'll be using this for the clutch fluid, RBF 600. This stuff works pretty good. I hear a lot of good things about it, and I have been using it for the past year or so. AMSOIL gear oil, I have a little bit more of that coming. AMSOIL motor oil, 5W30. I've been using that for a couple of years now. So power steering fluid, transmission fluid. A lot of people say that using Redline or AMSOIL works better, but I've used this the last time that I changed it, and seems to be fine to me. So pretty much just gonna go back with the OEM stuff and coolant. And then here is that new oil cooler. So I want to start with the easiest thing first, and I think that's probably the clutch fluid. Pretty much just pumping that out. I have this speed bleeder, so it shouldn't, there it is, shouldn't take too long. All I gotta do is crack that, drain it, and then pump it and refill it. So that shouldn't take too long. I was looking around in here, and I think I might have found my coolant leak. You can see it right there under the coolant reservoir here, and it actually looks like it's a bit low. So I think it might be leaking from that hose right there. Maybe that clamp isn't tight enough, or maybe it's cut or something. Hopefully that is the issue. Pretty simple, and I get that fixed. I kind of want to just pull the motor and give this thing a deep clean, but there's just dust and dirt everywhere because I don't have like the undershroud and everything. I don't have fender liners, so a lot of dust and dirt and stuff gets in here. I drove it in the rain, so I'm pretty sure that's where all that came from. All of that is just splashing up and coming through. Hopefully. Here's my power steering. This seems like power steering, so I don't know. I don't know if that's power steering leaking from somewhere, or what's going on with that. Or maybe all this is just dirt from the road, because you can see the ground straight through there. If I get my light right. Yeah, you can see the ground right through there. So while I was driving, it's possible that dust and all that dirt and crap got up there, but I don't know. There's a lot of dust and dirt right here as well, on everything. So I don't know if this cap is, or actually it looks like this cap is loose, so I'm gonna tighten that up. I'm not sure how to tighten it. I think it goes like this, or no, wrong way. So if I go this way, that'll tighten that up. Okay, so I think that's where That's where that leak was coming from. So that's where all of this came from. Actually, I'm gonna take it back off, clean it up, and then put it back on. So it looks a little milky in there, and that's not a good sign. But I'm hoping it's just water that kind of got through this filter, because water can get up through there when I drove it in the rain. And maybe it just got in here somehow. But we'll see when I drain the oil, I guess. All right, so we do have a little bit of water in this filter. So I'm gonna clean it up a bit and see if I can dry it up. So there was definitely a good bit of water getting in there. That doesn't look too good. But I think it'll be fine. Okay, so I checked the power steering and it's completely full. So I don't know where all that dust is coming from. It might be coming from, like I said, the road. Because it's on the ABS module too. So, not sure. I gotta get some type of like under shroud put under there. So I might end up fabbing something with like a piece of sheet metal or something like that. I don't know. But I also noticed that my, what is this, water pump, this hose that goes to the radiator, it's not all the way on. That should be up on that lip. Might have been my mistake when I changed that out, but I don't think it's leaking. It's been like that for almost a year now, because I haven't messed with it in almost a year. Or maybe it got blown back, but I don't think there'll be that much pressure to push that back. So I'm gonna tighten that up as well. And hopefully that fixes the issue, and check that out too. So I was cleaning everything up, and I decided to take this off too, to check the throttle body, make sure there was no crap packed up in there, and it looks clean. So that's good to go. All right, so now I got this. All right, I'm under here. Gotta pull this plug, and I'm most likely going to spill a lot of coolant, but gotta do what we gotta do. Splashed in my eye. Alright, so almost done draining. It doesn't look too bad. I know I have mixed the green and the orange stuff, so I think that's probably why it's not as green as it should be. It doesn't feel like any oil is in it or anything, so that's a good sign. And it is still draining in there. So once I'm done draining that, then I'll try and figure out what's going on with this thing over here. All right, so looking at it right here, it looks like there was a small leak. Super small. I don't know if that's what I saw dripping down there. Doesn't look like it drips too far, but it was leaking. So that's all I can see, and I hope that is the issue. I'm also gonna check that windshield washer fluid reservoir and see if that's dripping too. So I got this little spot cleaned up so I know if it leaks again, but I'm pretty sure that was it because when I come in here, you can see that all that water right there was leaking and pretty much dripping down, and then the leak was always like right here, right under where the car was. So I'm pretty sure that's it. All right, so water leak has been found. So I do have the Tick Performance Speed Bleeder, so makes this process a whole lot easier, and I can do it by myself. So I'm just gonna crack this open. Now that I got that open, I'm going to go in the car and just pump the clutch. This fluid's gonna go down a little bit, and I'll just come back up here and top it off. So I'm gonna top it off before it gets all the way down because I don't want any air in the system. And there's a little hose right at the bottom that can suck air in. So I'm probably gonna do about 1 or 2 pumps, then come back, top it off, 1 or 2 pumps, top it off, and continue the process. And there we go, that's pretty much it. Got all that fluid out, flushed, and pretty simple process for that. Thanks to Tick Performance for making that speed bleeder and making it a super easy process. All right, so clutch fluid has been changed, and I checked the power steering fluid. That's good. And I think that's it for tonight. All right, so I found my side marker issue, and it's this right here. Last time I took off my front bumper, I tucked it up in here, and I never connected it back up. So that's why that wasn't working. But I'm not gonna connect it now because I still have to take off the front bumper to do the oil change and change that oil cooler. So I'll just have to remember to connect that up once I'm done with the oil change and everything, and I put the front bumper back on. Also, my rotors, front rotors are squeaking a little bit, and they have some pretty bad grooves in the lip here. So I'm gonna replace these front rotors. The pads look good still. Rotors on this side, same thing. Same thing on the front. Pads look good though. But when we go to the back, rotors and pads are good. So, usually I replace them all, but I think I'm just gonna replace the front 2 rotors and just go with that, because soon I plan on getting a different brake kit. I want to grab some brakes and rotors from TBM, so I probably won't have these on here for much longer, maybe a few more months until I grab those. So I'm not gonna replace everything else. Everything else is fine. Pads are fine, the rears are fine. So I'm just gonna do the rotors up front because they have been making a little bit of noise, and we'll go from there. All right, so now I'm gonna change the brake fluid. To change the brake fluid, you wanna get this reservoir off, get this reservoir cap off right here. Fill it up, and then I'm gonna crack it loose here. Just gonna crack that loose right here and drain it. And once I'm draining it into a little container, I'm gonna hit the brakes at the same time to flush all that old fluid out. I spilled a little bit, but this is what that looks like. That old fluid from there. So I'm gonna go around and do that to all four. All right, so brakes have been flushed, fluid is clean. It doesn't get 100% of that brake fluid flushed because there is some still sitting in the ABS module. And I don't have a scan tool that'll allow me to bleed that ABS module. But I got most of it and it'll be fine. So now we can cross that off the list. Last but not least, I have rotors and pads for the front. Like I said, I didn't do the full set because I do plan on switching to TBM brakes all around. So just got the fronts because they're pretty bad right now. For some reason these brakes look bigger than these. I don't know why. Put them up here. They look about the same. So, guess it's fine. All right, so this is before. Doesn't really spin much. And this is after kind of cleaning it up and putting some WD-40 in between there. Not much of a difference, like nothing too crazy, but a little bit less resistance. Hopefully that'll help me get like 1/10 of a second. Less rotational mass. Pads and rotors are done. So we'll go ahead and cross that off. Not gonna program the new TPMS because I think that overrides the old ones. And it's actually like a pretty complicated process if you don't have a special tool. So we're gonna go ahead and cross that off the list. Too much work. Another thing I remembered is my doors. So on these doors, there's a little pad with a sensor that you press to open it up. And I saw a video of somebody saying that all you have to do is clean the contacts back there. So pop these off, clean the contacts, and it'll help the door open up easier without you having to like squeeze on it and everything. So I'm gonna try and do that. So this comes out like this, and I'm guessing I have to take those little screws off and get in there and clean it. So this is what the contacts look like inside of here. There's a bit of corrosion and rust. So I'm just gonna try and clean that up and see if I can get a better connection. So here's what it looks like now after being cleaned up a little bit. Took a little piece of sandpaper and just sanded off the contacts. and then went ahead and did the same thing on this side. Still got a little bit of corrosion right there I gotta hit, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. So now I put it in here just to test it, and you can hear every time I click it, it makes a noise to unlock it, so we should be good now. Now I just gotta do the passenger side because everybody always complains about it. Now, if you own a C6 Corvette, you know how hard that is to do usually, because it never opens on the first try, but now, perfect. Passenger side isn't as bad, but still gonna clean it up a little bit. Now that I got the passenger side done, it's just as smooth. Barely even have to touch it. So we can cross that off the list. All right, so now I got the bumper removed and changing the oil, changing the filter. And then I'm going to replace this oil cooler right here with this new one right here. Old oil cooler is out. It had a leak somewhere around here, and draining the lines, and I'm gonna throw the new one in. Oil cooler in, got the oil change done. Now we just have to flush the coolant, clean the car, trans, diff, key, side marker. So almost there. All right, so I sprayed some degreaser in here, and I'm just gonna get some nitrogen and blow it out. Oil looked good, so I'm guessing that stuff that was in there was just from the little bit of water that got through the filter. And I still got to clean up the filter, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that when I get the nitrogen out. So I got my nitrogen here. You can see it instantly cleaning it. Probably should be blowing from the inside out. That might make a little bit more sense. A little bit. All right, so now I'm gonna do the rear diff. So to start, I'm gonna open that, that's the fill plug. I'm gonna open that up, and then I'm gonna open up the drain plug, which is right here. That's kind of tough to get to. So I'll have to figure something out with that. I think last time I cut my Allen, hopefully I could find that, but last time I cut it and then stuck it in there and then twisted it, but we'll see what I can do now. All right, so I forgot this plug is literally like impossible to get to. So I'm just gonna pump it out using this thing right here. I'm gonna stick it in there and just pump it all out until I can't get any more out, and then I'll pump it back in. I'm gonna be using this 75W90 AMSOIL gear oil to put back in it. It does have the additive, the limited slip additive in it, so I don't have to add that or anything. And yeah, this is some good stuff. I used this last time, so go ahead and start squeezing that in there. Gear oil doesn't look too bad. Did have some oil in this container and in that bottle, so it's a mix, but for the most part, it's not too bad. So I'm draining the trans fluid now. And It looks really good. Super clean, bright red. So that's a good sign. This looks good. Exactly 3 quarts, which is good. So go ahead and start filling it back up. All right, so starting to get a little dark out, but finally done with the trans diffs. And now I'm gonna start pouring some water in here so I can flush this. I'm probably only gonna flush it or cycle it one time because I flushed it like less than a year ago, maybe 7-8 months ago. So I think it'll be fine with just one flush, and then start filling it up with coolant. So I'll go ahead and cross that off. Cross that off. She's alive. No leaks. Exhaust leak. All right, so there's no leaks. Everything looked good. So now I got it up to operating temp, let it run through the coolant system. Now I'm gonna drain it and then fill it back up with coolant. All right, so coolant has been flushed. I gotta clean the car. Program key, probably not gonna do that. Fix the side marker. I'll do that once I put the front bumper back on. So this thing is not happy with those tall tires right now. I think I lost power steering and a couple lights are on. But right now I'm just gonna do some figure eights, just kind of riding around to get all the fluid through the diff and pretty much just make sure it's, everything is lubricated before I, get out and start driving. Just want to do like a couple circles to the right, probably 10 to the right, 10 to the left, and then a couple eights, and yeah, it should be good. That'll get all the fluid mixed up and everything. So we got a slight oil leak. So I'm gonna put some of this tape on it and tighten them back up and see. All right, so front bumper's on, side markers are in. So go ahead and cross that off the list. And now I have clean the car, program key. I think that's pretty much it for today. All right, so the last thing I'm gonna do is wash the car. Like I said, it's been a long time, so go ahead and get that done. All right, so now I got the inside of the car all cleaned out. Trunk cleaned out and everything. Gonna go wash the outside because it definitely needs it. All right, so I'm done washing it now. It's all cleaned up and ready to go. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna end this video here. I've been making it for about a month now. But yeah, that's it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.